Skeletor SG coming at you after a grueling playthrough of the new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order. Curious what this single player experience delivers? What combat feels like? How long is this $60 experience? Whatever reason you're here, this is Should You Buy in 5, Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order, developed by FPS titans Respawn Entertainment, marks the studio's first dive into third-person action-adventure development. Being the first venture out of the shooter category for the Titanfall and Apex Legends team, this game is bleeding the galaxy far away in so many elements and was a spectacular return to the single-player Star Wars action. Our story opens up following the Jedi Padawan Cal Kestis working as a junker. Cal has been on the run ever since Emperor Palpatine initiated the fateful Order 66, commencing the hunt and murder of Jedi across the galaxy. After blowing his cover, Cal attempts to leave the planet when he, Prof, and other junkers are stopped by the Sith Inquisitor known as the Second Sister. Unable to contain himself, Cal attempts to resist the Second Sister and nearly is killed before he's saved by the mysterious crew of the Manta ship Seer and Grease. An unlikely team, Seer recruits Cal to help her find the mysterious research of the Jedi Master, Evo Cordova. In an attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order, Cal must combat the Sith, solve puzzles, and journey through the galaxy for a second chance against the Empire with Cordova's teaching. Jedi Fallen Order's story follows a tried-and-true classic Star Wars formula and gives us one of the best looks at one of the most impactful events in the Star Wars canon. Order 66 is a well-known event in the franchise, but we've never quite seen such an intimate experience with the time frame. Cameron Monaghan's depiction of Cal was pivotal to the role, a naive Padawan recklessly struggling to do right by the teachings of his master. The performance did take some time to ramp up, but Monaghan's commitment to Cal really takes hold near the end of the game. Deborah Wilson transforms as Seer, providing an incredibly emotional performance to a blatantly obvious plot twist. When the tension rose, you could count on the ship's Captain Grease or BD-1, your droid companion, and implore that charming Star Wars comical break that puts a cherry on top of this most enticing Star Wars experience. When I was first dropped to my demise through the roof of a cargo train on an alien planet and began my first journey into
Uncharted, Cal's Destiny,
I was immediately amazed. The scenery was grandiose, the set pieces were hectic, and the traversal was smooth and mesmerizing. It is in these moments that Fallen Order really shines through. The puzzler adventure platformer was where I found myself the most pleased with this game, searching for echoes of the past or new poncho colors for Cal. The moment I ran into combat, however, I was immediately pulled out of the game. I think while there are some technical limitations to the game, some improper hit detection on traversal and combat, some bogus camera angles, I was ultimately pulled out because I
don't like Souls combat.
I played through on the game's hard setting, Jedi Master, and was growing hair just to rip it out at points because it was so tough. The slow and thorough action of combat just don't seem to define a Jedi. They do in theory, but hear me out. You're wielding the strongest weapon in the galaxy, but little spiders can withstand its power taking multiple hits. When you do finally get the hang, Cal has a robust skill tree for the few moves that he does have in his arsenal. Upgrades are essentially dynamics added to moves you already have, while major new abilities and gadgets are rolled out through gameplay. Similar to Souls games, your meditation circle is your save spot, where you actually upgrade, and your checkpoint upon death. This is certainly a Souls-light game, though, as death is a bit more friendly and regaining lost experiences is as easy as attacking the enemy who vanquished you. Traversal through the environment is great when you're where you need to be, but the map itself is an abomination to the intricacies present in the world design. There's a decent set of enemies which reset when you rest at a circle. There are quite a few things to find and enough content to keep you occupied for about 15 to 20 hours, give or take. The narrative is what kept me coming back even through the frustration. The lore in the world is fantastic and the character performances steal the show. If you expected anything less than a slapper, you're just naive. This game's audiovisual presentation is one of the most impressive we've seen in the generation. I'll lead right away and say I was disappointed we never heard the classic Jedi theme throughout, but they did a good job with the fairly original soundtrack. The songs were unique, but at every junction felt like it was on par with what we've come to expect from a Star Wars soundtrack. Massively huge scores aligning to eruptive set pieces made the whole experience feel like pages pulled from the Uncharted and God of War playbook while maintaining its own identity, especially as it varied between planets. Give or take some long loading screens and some occasional pop-up, this game is one of the most polished visual experiences, the overall aesthetic and theme being one at home with a canon Star Wars tale. The lighting and particles take the center stage here, as you'd expect as a saber wielder, and combat was super intense, and the cues from the clashing sabers felt weighted and spot on to the films. The cinematics were excellent, and as I've gushed on, the actors' performances were spectacular. The disparity, though, between cutscenes to gameplay was very distinct, but even in-game, facial animations were realistic and reacted to your character's conversations and experiences. All in all, Jedi Fallen Order should be viewed as a huge milestone both for Respawn as a team, but what the future of single-player Star Wars games can be. The future of Respawn stories will be bright, as this is the lead example, even with the shortcomings that it has. The length is a little disappointing, as I beat the core story in about 10 hours, but with one of the best visual audio experiences I've had of the year, I want to scream by this game. But for some reason, I just feel like I can't. I think this game will drop in price quickly because of the length, but ultimately if you don't like Souls games or have never played one, you're going to be in a world of frustration with how punishing it can be. Otherwise, I think you can hold off, as in a few months I see a $20 price drop being inevitable, but this is hands down one of the best Star Wars games we've gotten since Force Unleashed.